on if you won the race or not. Running, generally, if you're in the top 5 of runners, you're going to be doing incredibly well within the race. There was 1 year that was the outlier, but looking at that year, it was just a wild year for the Ironman in Florida. Nothing really made sense. Every point of data was an outlier. It was just all over the place. But when looking at overall, running is the most important of the categories. You should really focus here. That's where people win or lose this race, is in running. Biking. This is Calvin's dad. He likes to bike a lot. That's one of his personality traits, so biking. So this is the second strongest indicator of winning. It's the second event in the Ironman, and it is right after swimming, which is just an exhausting time. You have to transition over to biking and just kind of go. So biking, again, if you finish within that top 5, you have a really, really good chance of potentially winning, or at least placing in the top 5. Fastest, second or third off the bike, it all depends. It all depends on where you fall within the running. So if you're second off bike and first in running, you're probably going to win. Second off bike, 35th in running, probably not going to win. It all depends. Biking and running, they are the most important of the two. Running being the most important, biking being the second most important, and swimming being the last. But if you, again, finish within that top 5, top 10, there's a greater likelihood of you winning. Swimming. There we go. Swimming. Swimming is the weakest of the third indicators. So this is where it's kind of iffy. So swimming ranges wildly. There are some years where people finish almost in the top 100 for swimmers. Granted, that's out of 1,000 competitors, but still, top 100 and still end up placing first or second. It all depends. So if you take the approach of not expending too much energy, and if you're in the top 50 of these competitors, not expending too much energy on swimming and save it for a bike or racing, that's going to be your best bet. Doesn't really matter who's out second or third, because at the end of the day, if you are totally in on swimming, go your absolute hardest, expend all of your energy, and then tank in the last 2 events, you're not going to be doing well. It is okay to take a little bit of a break and a rest as long as you're in the top 50 competitors at swimming. This is fascinating. So, as we're looking at the age of the competitors for the Florida Ironman, this was taken in the years of 2011 through 2010. 2010 through 2011. There we go. And we see that age ranges 30 to 34 have the fastest times in men, and in women, ages 25 to 29 have the fastest times. It is absolutely fascinating, because you would think, oh, younger, more limber, training, all that good stuff would probably be the lower times, but that's just not the case. The lower times are that middle 30s, which is, for men at least. For women, it is that late 20s, and it is late 20s, early 30s, and it is fascinating to see that. So the suggestion with age, as you're getting older, if you're trying to compete in the Ironman, my dad, he's in his 50s, probably not going to be winning, but still a decent time. Now, if you are my age or trying to get into Ironman around my age, it is the perfect time to train until you hit probably 30, and then you really start competing. Unless you want some races under your belt, then that's the way. But even if you want races under your belt, that may not increase your time. Looking at past winners for the Florida Ironman through these past 6 years, it ranges wildly in how many times they've competed or will have competed in the Ironman. Finally, country of origin. Now, with Florida Ironman, looking at these 6 years, 6 races, big time mamma jamma. 4 out of the 6 of the male winners were from the U.S. That's a pretty strong thing. Being like, hey, if you are from the U.S. and you're competing in the Florida Challenge, you probably have a greater chance of winning. That's just what happens. So yeah, hope this is informative and great. I used Bayes' theory. I didn't put those numbers in because yeah. But yeah, this was a fascinating thing. Great patterns and everything like that. Hope you have a great evening. And right, look at that, under 7 minutes.